Hello everyone and welcome back. So continuing on with the TerrainViewer, it is time for us to switch our attention over to the PatchUpdater.
Right, so what is the job of the PatchUpdater? Well, like we had mentioned towards the end of the last video, the PatchUpdater's job is to make sure that it has a material so we can have a texture on our terrain, and to make sure that we get a collider when needed. It does a couple of other things as well. It's going to control when the patch is going to be visible, mainly when it's inside of the frustum of the camera, and it will also be checking to see when we've gone outside of the hold range of our system, and it's going to remove that particular patch.
So basically we're giving every patch that gets created in our world some intelligence.
Yes, instead of having one method that is going to go through a giant list of patches, we're just going to let each of the patches control its own functionality on its own. So let's go ahead inside of scripts, create a new class. This will be our PatchUpdater. So PatchUpdater, hit add. This will be a mono behavior. So we need to get rid of everything including the namespace. Go ahead and make this a public end mono behavior.
Mon.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Mars, you know. Mon Olympus. Or no, that's Mons, isn't it? Oh, I didn't even think of Mars right. Look at that. All right, what are we going to need? Well, we're going to have a private static mesh collider, and static in process. Why did I name it in process? That was interesting. Let me think about this. Is it going, yeah, that's it? No, it's not. No, I don't need this. This is old stuff. Sorry about that. All right, get rid of that. We need a private game object. This will be our patch. Then need a private mesh collider. Now I need the mesh collider. And this will be our mesh collider. There was another system that I had when I was doing lazy load of colliders, and it just didn't work.
Gotcha.
But I left the code in. So I'm also want to have a vector 2, which is going to have our offset. So those are going to be our private variables. We're going to start off with our first method being the awake method. Inside of awake, we want to set up our patch, or find our patch. So we're going to say patch equals transform dot find child, and that child is going to be train patch, and I want its game object. Now the way to think of this is I can go ahead and build and jump over and show what's going on here. Our patch, if I hit play, you can see inside we've got train, and inside of train we have these prefabs. Inside of each prefab we have this train mesh. This is our patch. This is what I care about.
Right.
So this is what I'm trying to find. Each one of these is called train mesh. So I'm finding this train patch. Oh, I changed up the name, so I'm going to have to change this to train mesh. Good catch there. So now I can go ahead and say, hey, no, instead of train patch, it's train mesh. All right. Naming is important. All right. Once I have that patch, I can say patch.renderer.shareMaterial is going to equal our game manager, and I made a static common train assets. That's what we need. So we're going to load, and from there we're going to load an asset called m_train. Now that's the name of our material that we created that we then later exported as an asset bundle. Yeah, that's it, asset bundle. All right, so that should map our material onto it. I also want to say var tokens. So what I'm trying to do now is get our offset. We're going to get our offset via the name of our train patch. So we're going to say tokens equals game object dot name. So we're going to get the name of the game object. We're going to go for the substring starting at 0 and then we're going to go to GameObject.name.index of, and we're going to, from there, look for clone, because when we instantiate this prefab, it puts clone there for some reason. And then we're going to say replace, look for train patch underscore. And we're going to replace that with nothing. Then we're going to split based off of our underscore. Go ahead and end that off. So really, you couldn't be happy with that. Fine. Go ahead, and that's a good place for, I like that better. All right. Okay, once I've got my tokens, I can say offset is going to be equal to a new vector2, and I'm going to get int.parse. We're going to look for token element 0, and then int.parse tokens element 1, and you're still not happy. What I need, where did I miss a semicolon? Oh, no, it's going to be a bracket again over here. There we go. And
One too many.
yep, I do that all the time. All right, now set our patch tag equal to terrain. Now we haven't set up any tags in our project yet, so we'll go do that before we get an error. So I can select on anything. Let's go to tags, add tag. Go ahead and hit drop down for tags. Element 1 will be terrain, so that'll give us a tag. Now we've got that part. Back into code. And let's see, what should we work on next? Let's do add collider. Add collider is simple. So I'm going to do a private IEnumerator. You guessed it, it is a coroutine. And I'm going to say add collider. Now, I have found that it doesn't seem like adding a mesh collider has much effect whether or not it's outside or inside of a numerator or inside of a coroutine. But I'm just going to put it in there because it probably doesn't hurt. So patch add component, and we're going to add a mesh collider. Then we'll say yield return, yield return mesh collider. So whenever that mesh collider is no longer null and it's ready to go. So that should take care of that part. Next method I want to deal with is going to be a private void destroy method. This is what will be called when we're no longer going to use this patch. Inside of here we're going to say destroy our game objects, which means we're basically destroying ourselves. Then I'm going to go to the bundle manager. I'm going to say unload bundle, and I want to unload our game object dot name, and I'm going to have to change the order of this as well. Dot substring 0, comma game object dot name. Oops. Index of. We want to get rid of the clone again. So and that's 3. Basically, we're going to remove this bundle from our bundle manager, so it's no longer there. Then we're going to tell our train manager dot instance to go ahead and remove this from our patches dictionary. which will be offset. That way, if for some reason we do come back into the realm of this particular patch, it will get reloaded. And then that will take care of our destroy method. How are we doing on time?
We're at about 10 minutes now, so if we want to go ahead and put the other part into part 2, that would work.
Yeah, we can do that. The only 2 parts we have left are the update and the check collider.
Sounds fantastic.
We'll do that in the next one.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you there.